things. First of all, I discovered, or someone told me rather, that if you record your presentation, it is going to be too big for you to upload to Moodle. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I'm guessing it probably is. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and I'll send out an email, there's a couple instructional videos also. If you are pre-recording your presentation, upload it to YouTube. You can set it to private, and then you can send me the URL or submit the URL through Moodle so that nobody else will be able to find it. It's not like this presentation will be out there on the web. I mean, if you want it to be, it can, but you can set it to private. And then I will just post that in Moodle and just share it with people in the class so that people can watch those presentations if you want. So I will send that email out today. If you are horribly uncomfortable with uploading to YouTube, let me know, we'll figure out something else. But I think that's going to be the easiest solution at this point in time. The good part is you don't need to have a verified account, because I think you can upload an up to 15-minute presentation without a verified YouTube account. So you don't have to go through the verification process or anything there. So that'll be nice. Also, those aren't due till Monday, so you've got a little bit of time to figure it out. And if you run into issues, let me know. We can do tech support, etc. Those are for people pre-recording presentations. People recording presentations live. Again, what I'll do is set this up in Zoom so that you can share your screen. So you will share your screen, and then you will be talking. We said 8 to 15 minutes on the presentation. We'll do a little bit of time for questions as well. So that'll be starting on Friday. Any questions either from pre-recording or from presenting live about the presentations? Anything there? Okay, remember you're responsible for watching 5 of them, right? What I'm going to ask you to do, there is a spot in Moodle for you to submit your presentation, feedback, whatever you want to call it. Please put all 5 of those in the same Word document and submit them all at once. Okay, so don't submit them piecemeal. Wait until you have all 5, so that can wait until a week from Wednesday. I don't know that I put a due date on it. I'll double check, but wait, submit all of those as just one file. Word is fine. If you want to convert it to a PDF, you can, but a Word doc is fine. I can convert it to a PDF just as easily as well. Either way, whichever one you want to do. But one Word file, please. That will make my life easier. Questions on the feedback? Anything there? Okay, I will plan to record the presentations in Zoom like I've been recording classes, but as demonstrated on Wednesday, sometimes things go wrong with recording classes, and therefore I would not count on having a recording available to watch if you want to watch the ones that are live in class. Hopefully, 95% it'll probably work, but just in case not, don't plan on that, okay? Anything else for questions, logistics of presentations? They're just a little more logistically difficult at this point in time. Daniel, yes.
It's just on the homework. When we have number 7 for where you're doing the function.
Talking, and I'm gonna look.
Okay.
You're good, keep talking.
So it's f of t, which is 18 of like b, c, d.
Yes.
And then like, so for the next problem, you said we had to like convert it to binary, but don't we also need to convert this one to binary in order to do it?
Maybe.
Because
I'm not
it's
sure.
all ones and zeros.
Right.
So
Yes, you will. So I didn't
Okay.
say that specifically in
Thanks.
part B. You'll need to convert B, C, and D to binary also. Yes.
Okay, that's
I
good.
probably should have said
That's what I
that.
did.
Yeah, you will.
Okay, thanks. Cool.
Other homework questions? Jason, yeah.
When is it due again?
That is an excellent question. Monday, I think. Should be due on Monday?
Yes.
Pretty sure? Yes? Okay. And remember, if you are writing a computer program, email it to Dr. Schultz and copy me, please. If you're writing a program to execute SHA-1. And I know there are 500 programs that execute SHA-1 online. Okay, write your own. Elijah.
Just as a question, so for writing the program, our output, should it be the same as like or how can we verify our output at all?
I would look online for a program that executes SHA-1 and
Okay.
see if you get the same output there. So you can use
And because
an
the
online
other question I
program.
had is, how do we know how to pad it? Because depending on how we pad it, like what bits we pad it with, we might get a different output.
That is a good question.
Because I couldn't figure out how to get mine to match.
Right.
And just kind of the way the algorithm is too, it's kind of hard to debug to figure out.
Yes, that's an excellent question. Then I'm going to say that you don't necessarily have a way of checking it. Sorry,
Okay.
That's sad and unfortunate. I hadn't thought about the padding, and this is why I'm a mathematician and not a computer scientist.
Sure, that's fine.
Yes.
And it should be still clear that it's performing the algorithm anyway.
It should, yeah. You should be able to walk through it. So,
Okay.
yes. Anything else? Other questions on presentations or homework? Anything else? Okay, let's talk final exam for just a little bit then. So final exam is going to be cumulative. I am going to make it cumulative because there isn't that much stuff that we've done since test number 2. So cumulative. Here's the trade-off. Open book, open notes. We are doing a cumulative exam, but one that is open book, open notes. The reason for this is because I want you to be able to execute all of the stuff that we've talked about during the semester, not necessarily memorize all of the stuff that we've talked about during the semester. So you can have all the protocols in front of you, you can have your notes in front of you, you can have your book in front of you. Whatever you want to have in front of you, you are more than welcome to have. I will write it for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. I think what I'll probably do is out of 150 points. Usually tests are out of 100. This one will probably be out of 150 points. Along with open book, open notes, you can use whatever calculator you want. I will write it so that you should be able to do it using a regular handheld graphing calculator. If you want to use Perry or something else like that, that is fine. However, there are going to be places where you will need to show your work. So the first example that immediately comes to mind is find an inverse mod P. And if I say do this using the extended Euclidean algorithm, then you got to show me your work. You can check your work in Perry. That is totally fine. You can find an inverse in Perry and check your work. I have no problem with that. But you're going to need to show your work to demonstrate what's going on. Okay? Does that help to balance the, oh my goodness, this has turned into an online class and I have to take a final exam, with open book, open notes, you can have your stuff in front of you? Is that reasonable? I'm trying to go for a reasonable compromise. I'm getting thumbs up from people and nods. Okay. Are there questions about the final exam? And again, we'll do a quick review next week, Friday, last day of class, whirlwind tour, etc. But questions at this point about the final exam? Anything? You can expect some computational problems, I'll say most computational problems, but probably also some short answer. There was some short answer on that first test, right? And there's some big overarching concepts that we've talked about all the way through the course of the semester that lend themselves better to short answer questions as well. So this isn't going to be an entirely computational, execute all this stuff test. It'll be some, what are the concepts we have talked about this semester? What have you learned broadly about cryptography this semester, in addition to here's the specific protocols, can you execute these as well? Okay. I would suggest, so even though this is open book, open notes, I would suggest, and people who have done an oral exam with me in abstract will understand what I mean, indexing your notes somehow or other so that you're not frantically flipping. People who have taken an oral exam are nodding at me. Yes, yes, thank you for that, okay? So that you're not frantically flipping and trying to find, oh my goodness, where's RSA? Oh my goodness, where's Elgamal? Where's the extended Euclidean algorithm? I'm running out of time and I don't have time for all of this. So organize your notes, be familiar with them. Don't expect that because this is open book, open notes, you can go into this exam with no studying and be fine. That's my trade-off also. I'm not going to intentionally make it harder, but I'm going to know that I'm going to write it as the same length. So you may not have time to frantically flip through and try to find everything. Okay? Does that lead to any questions about the final exam? Tell me that sounds reasonable and it's not horribly stressing you out. But it also sounds like a good culminating activity and one to finish out the semester. Okay, cool. Jason, question.
Is there anything that you'll like focus more on in the final, or is everything gonna be kind of spread out?
I think I'm gonna hold off on answering that question until Friday next week when we do a whirlwind tour. So I would say for now, if you wanna get a head start on studying, a really good way to do that would be start indexing your notes and labeling stuff where it is, kind of getting familiar. The other thing that I would start doing maybe at this point is looking for some of those broad overarching concepts. We talked about, I'm just thinking of things that come to mind. Public key versus private key, right? Be able to explain the differences between those. The differences between encryption and signature schemes. How are those related? How do those have different objectives? What's a hash function? What are its objectives? What are we trying to accomplish with this? Differences in goals and objectives between hash functions and message authentication codes. So start to think about those broad overarching concepts and maybe make yourself a list of some of the things that go there. Next week, Friday, we will go through and I'll say, oh yeah, this is something that you maybe don't need to have the specifics of, or this is something that you should focus a little bit more on. But for now, before we get there, those are my suggestions for studying. Fair question. Other questions? Okay, we'll do it the same way then via Zoom that we did test number 2. So we'll get everybody signed on at 8. Its final is 8 o'clock on Wednesday. It's 2 weeks from today. So 8 o'clock on Wednesday, we'll get everybody signed in on Zoom. I'll post the test on Moodle. Everybody can have their video on. If you have problems with that, shoot me an email, let me know, we'll figure something out. But everybody had their video on last time, so I'm assuming it'll work for the final exam again. And then same thing, private chat, stay on until I get your test, till I've confirmed it, submit it as a PDF, all that fun stuff. I'm getting very good at administering Zoom tests, and I really wish I wasn't. But anything else about the final exam? Today was a good day to kind of just take some time and talk through that and give you an idea of what to expect. Anything else? Okay. Other general questions about anything before we talk about the very last new material for the semester, other than your presentations? Alrighty then. So today, last thing that